What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. Spawning in the right side of the map in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Skady. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Ra. His name is Mythic. I've got a bit of an obsession with Mythic. I'll let you know what his plans are. His plan is to come back to Age of Titans, take a top spot just to prove that he can do it, and then go back and drink some tea and relax. He is a wild expert, that a very rare breed of expert who I'm like, you just don't ever see this guy losing the drive to be a top player. Which is kind of rare amongst those the like ex-top players who have been around. Like, you take a look at the likes of like Chrono JJ, for example, Army Corps, for example. Magyar has off been an expert in a different game, but he's no longer, I don't think you could consider him to be a top player of Age of Mythology anymore. I don't know what other experts are out there off the top of my head, but it's very rare to see a player just kind of leave Age of Mythology, come back, and still be an absolute unit when all is said and done. As we do see these villagers here about to drop that mining camp, Eden Rhino. But to talk a little bit about this, Skady, on the other hand, he never left Age of Mythology. He is one of my favorite players to watch in Age of Mythology, an incredibly talented player. Has some very, very trollish play styles when he feels like it, but for the most part, he is an incredibly solid player. Top 3 in my opinion at the moment. On any given day, he can be the best Age of Mythology player in the world. And I'm excited to see what he can bring. And if Mythic has leveled up here, so to speak, over the past couple of days. He's only been playing for, I don't know, maybe a week now, if I had to take a guess. So he's still kind of feeling things out, trying to get all of the modern build orders in and deal with everything. Let's take a look at the old cheeky resources here and see what these players are going to do. This is a map is Savannah. It's a fun map. You got some difficulties to deal with on this map, especially if you only get the 1 rhino spawn. You can get a 1 rhino spawn, a 2 rhino spawn, a 4 rhino spawn on this map. The 1 rhino spawn is what you really don't want to see, because it means that there's not only is there only 500 food in your main base, but also you kind of have to send a whole bunch of villagers over there to kill it off, because it's so fat, which means that your ability to get a nice clean 430 advance time becomes really, really tough. And so much so that you probably don't even want to go for a 430 advance time on these sorts of maps. You might want to go for a 445 or 5-minute advance time with a couple more villagers out, so that you can actually get your town center up and get everything else up you want. But we do see in this position here, Skady, he is not going simple here in this game. He's putting the temple down on the front. He's going to be getting himself out his minotaurs and everything else to push forward. Mythic is still not being aware that this is something that's not allowed in tournament. But again, this is the wild, wild west. You can do whatever you want on the ladder. There's no rules, which does really change the way that one looks at the game. As the Katoskabos coming in over here, going to be starting to bash the Snowfru over here. One damage Katoskabos. Takes a while to kill off the Pharaoh, but it's a lot of delay to the actual, or lost resources there to the actual Egyptian economy here, as Star is coming through for Mythic. A little bit late on that one. He's got to decide exactly what he wants to do, as the villagers coming through going to shank down on that one, as the Pharaoh does drop off that food there and get everything sorted out. Nice plays here from Skady, but his Katoskabos is about to be kind of taken out, as he's still trying to push in and delay Mythic ever so slightly. The question here is, what sort of a rush is Skady going to be going for? This position here for Mythic is really, really good. He's got a forward forest down. We see all the houses coming up. In fact, double house builders around this location. Skady is known for his tricks here, though. Skady is known for his tricks, as the Minotaur is going to come in straight away, and we see a town center coming up at the moment here for Skady. This is something he's known for. There is a possibility that Skady drops the town center and stops building it. He's done that before and gone for a really, really heavy rush. But we already see Mythic is investing a lot into these walls here, kind of expecting something big to happen. I don't think he's spotted the Ford Temple just yet. The Katoskabot's still like harassing around here, causing some attention to be garnered on this position. And Mythic at this point, it looks like he's actually not going for a fast second town center here. So Skady's gotten what he wants out of this game, out of this opening here. He's gotten the second town center against the one town center fast heroic of Ra. That's what he wants here, because it allows him to have the extra economy to deal with what's going to come for him in terms of a timing. Basically, Mythic's only possibility to win in this game is going to be to get some really, really big raids. Now, Mythic also has got to be aware that Skady has got access to Restoration, which is a hard counter to Locust. So, or at least it's a trades 1-for-1 to Locust. So Mythic doesn't even have that as a instant win sort of opportunity in this game, so long as Skady is quick enough to react to that one. So he's got to be a little bit smart on how he's going to use that Locust. Now, when you're playing against a player who's holding Restoration, my idea is that you just go ahead and Siege Tower, attack a town center, click Locust, Restoration there will go off. And maybe you lose a Siege Tower, maybe you don't, but you can pull back away from the town center while the Locust is on there, while the Restoration is in, and then the villagers have to dive back into the town center. And at least you get some value out of it, some tangible value out of it, as Shadoof and Plow coming through. Mythic looks like he's going for a farmless fast heroic, but he's going to be dropping the farms afterwards. So the question is, does he go for like a fast mythic behind this? Or is he just going to say, I'm going to go for mass camelry in the heroic age? And we already see here Skady doing what Greek players are doing best here. This is absolutely standard now for Greek players. It's getting the map completely walled up. I love this wall down the bottom, setting up over here to wall this one up as well. But I love this wall even more. What this does is it's preventing this right side of the map to being an entrance into Skady's base. He's going to be able to wall this off as well. He's going to be able to come over here and potentially wall this off here as well. And his base is going to be completely safe to raids, as Mythic is going to be advancing to the heroic age here, dropping his farms down, and will be hitting that rain and having a ton of food in the bank to utilize. But what is he going to utilize it on is the big question. He's only got one monument here. He's got a lot of villagers on the wood here as well. No hand axe just yet. I'm sure he's going to be wanting to grab that one fairly shortly. And he can also get himself a very, very early shaft mine here, if he so chooses, as we see a total of 13 farms here in the main base for Mythic. And he is going to have, like we said, lots and lots of food here. Skady, on the other hand here, he's kind of read this. This is something you don't see very often. What I say is, in terms of Greek compositions against Egyptian, you don't really want to build Toxotes against Egyptian, against an Egyptian against an Egyptian Migdol-based army. Cavalry do good against archers. Chariot archers do good against archers as well. So what you can do, if you've got the food income, is go for Hoplite and Hippocon, which we are seeing here from Skady. And that is a really, really good way to kind of shut down the value that the cavalry bring, having out those Hoplites as well. Not only that, having the Hippocon in there, just in case there's a whole bunch of chariot archers to come through, you're going to be able to transition away from the hoplites into mass cavalry there as well. So it's a little bit of cheese here from Skady in a way. Mythic can go into some axemen here and go axemen, cavalry, and really, really put the pain onto the Skady units here. But look at Mythic's food at the moment. He's got so much food here. He's completely walled in at this point as this villager gets sent back. Does not need to finish that wall, in all honesty. It's blocked off completely fine. Would love to see a wall here as well at some point, but not that important. Skady is completely walled in, as we do see the rock pushing into this location. There's a Pygmalion statue. That's a big, big relic there that's been missed as Mythic has found his way into his opponent's base. I don't see an Odysseus out just yet. Where I don't see the Odysseus out at all. There he is. Okay, there he is. So once the rock comes in, I'm sure the Odysseus will get brought in as the units here getting sniped down. Skady going to be pulling back. Just needs to play defensive at this moment. He should know he's got the advantage here in terms of villages. He's up like nearly 20 villages. So just don't lose them and you're all good. Okay, losing another one, but not that big of a deal as we do see the rock coming into the main base over here. Town center going to get some damage onto this position here. Locust onto these farms wouldn't be awful. Villagers getting pulled away at the moment as an armory getting dropped down. The Patukos does get dropped down here as the bolt gets landed on that one. Great reactions there from Skady. Exactly what he needed to do there as we do see the villagers pulling up onto this location to grab this town center. And the Locust gets dropped down. Restoration, not fast enough on that one. Does get a lot of villager kills there for that Locust. But one of the advantages that we talk about with 2 town centers, Skady is still 11 villages, in front at this moment. And Magic on the other hand, he's just gone for mass chariot archers. I'm not sure what this early rain was all about for Magic because he probably didn't need to do it. He probably could have gone straight onto wood here, gone mass chariot archers if that was his plan, and then saved his rain for the heroic age, where he might want to have irrigation out, which gets him even more food, and maybe even have more farms out. But he's just floating all of this food at the moment. He has spent a lot of it because he's not got any villagers on wood at the moment, but could have been a little bit more efficient on that one. But it doesn't matter. He's starting to get some good raids over here. Skady's positioning on this wood line is not the best. I would much prefer to see him on a back wood line like over here or over here as the chariot archers over there do get dealt with. Magic is taking the score lead here as he's kind of finding his footing in this game, going up to 3 town centers. Skady is also going up to 3 town centers over here onto this location as well, as we do see the rock coming in. A couple of chariot archers onto this position. This is a really, really good way to play around the walls of the Greek players. I love that Magic is showing this one off. He doesn't even need to sit here with the rock. He can actually sit over the top of a forest line there as the village is getting taken out. We will be seeing those Hippocons coming back. That Odysseus needs to return back here and take out that rock as the villagers retreating away. Skady has taken a lot of damage here in this game as the Minotaur comes through, snipes down that Wadget. A couple of War Elephants are coming out here actually for Magic. Very rare to see that for Ra, as Magic on the front gold mine over here. He's got a couple of options of gold over on these locations, but he hasn't actually done anything to take those out as the chariot archers there do get targeted down. A little bit of a shifting sand. I don't like those sorts of shifting sands, but it does get some good value here. That's 5 Hippocon that are going to get taken out, and the chariot archers get kept alive here. So it's a nice shifting sands, but I don't like it because the reason is because at this point, Skady's economy is completely set up. So taking out a handful of resources here from Skady's pocket is not going to be as much as potentially a shifting sands onto this town center to take it out. The other thing here to remember is Skady still has got access to his restoration here, but he's a little bit short on resources here. He hasn't got his upgrades, and Magic with the War Elephants coming in, he might be able to tear down this position. Magic has found an incredibly advantageous position after all is said and done, as we see Labyrinth of Minos coming through here for Skady. He wants to build himself some Minotaurs here to try and defend against these War Elephants, but this town center of Skady might be going down here very, very quickly, especially with the Migdol on the front here. Villagers actually getting pulled off of this position, and looks like Skady can't even afford to get himself those Minotaurs out. Nonetheless, as the Hippocon coming through here, restoration still available on this position, and that will help keep this position alive for a little bit longer. There's the restoration getting dropped down. Still no upgrades for Skady as he's starting to spam those units out. Does he have any armor upgrades? No. The town center will be falling here as the Hippocon do manage to pull in and take out those chariot archers. However, the hoplites are now onto these War Elephants, and those are really, really expensive. They're going to be getting taken down very, very quickly. Magic's got a lot of resources in the bank, though. How many Migdols does he have? He's got 2 Migdols. He can really be spamming out those units here. Could definitely, and he's going to be getting himself some siege towers to boot here. As all of the elephants do end up getting taken down, the hoplites can then push through and take out the Migdol stronghold as well. While Magic is taken down the town center, has that been a valid usage of his resources there or not is the big question, because Skady now is going to be able to make a really big push back and potentially claim this position for himself. Skady needs to come in and take out that rock. That rock there is a nuisance there to deal with, but we'll see what he's going to be doing. Magic's got no population, well, not no population, but 120 of 145 population here in the bank, but most of that is in villages. Only really 40 population worth of units out at the moment as the villagers targeting down this location here. The Odysseus coming forward. Not sure if that was a misclick here, as the rock going to be retreating away here, and the Hippocon still pushing forward. Medium cavalry now coming through for Skady, finally going to be getting himself some upgrades in this game. Is he getting his town center back? Looks like he can afford it at the moment, but he's not going for it just yet. Wants to clean up this position first, it seems, as the siege tower is getting taken out by a handful of melee units here, and Magic is going to be now on the back foot. And it looks like to me Skady is stabilized here, but Magic has still got a Mythic Age timing here in his back pocket, so to speak, as the Bull Minotaur coming through onto this position. 448 HP, 150 food, 14 favor. Still an expensive unit there, even with the Labyrinth of Minos, but it will be helping him out in these fights. As the Migdol goes down, Skady at this point might be saying, you know what's better than getting that third town center? Going Mythic Age, or going Heroic Age, excuse me, in order to get himself access to things like the Prodromus, the Peltast, the Hypaspist, the Manticore, etc., etc. But while this is going on, Skady, he gets absolutely destroyed on that position by Magic. Magic gets himself heavy chariots. All those resources spent on the Heroic Age, not spent on military units, allows Magic now to get himself back up to full population. And Skady, how many military buildings does he actually have here? Maybe not enough. He's got a lot of resources in the bank for the time being, as the siege tower is getting targeted down here. Skady kind of knows all he needs to do is get this town center up, and he should be okay to hold here as the siege tower comes in, and it does get taken down before the town center goes down. Nice play from Skady. Magic, a little bit of a misplay on that one where that's concerned. He has broken through onto this position, getting up at Siege Works on the side of the map. I'd love to see some walls over there from Magic. This is one thing that Magic gets set up at some point, but it's a little bit later than the current meta in these sorts of games for Ra players, and it might bite him in the bum a little bit later in this game. But Fortified Town Center is coming through for Magic. Magic retreats back here. He's dropped, well, he doesn't drop down in population. Where is he at with his units, though? I've got no idea where his units are. Okay, they're all in the Chariot Archers, so he's looking for raids here with the Chariot Archers. There's not really anything over this side that he can hit. He can obviously hit some villages. Maybe if he came with this raid with like 2 rocks and 2, 3 or 4 siege towers in that position, it wouldn't have been a bad idea. And we are now seeing the Peltast coming out here for Skady. He's going to be able to utilize those Peltasts to take out some of those Chariot Archers, because it's mass Chariot Archers. And even though technically speaking, Chariot Archers can beat Peltast because they've got 20 range and more speed. If you can get the Chariot Archers caught out of position, the Peltast will be able to take them down very, very quickly as the village is getting taken out on this position. Nice raids coming through here as the Hippocon going to get pulled back. We'll see if Skady can deal with that. Osiris is coming in. The siege tower coming through onto this position here, causing some problems where that's concerned, as the village is getting pushed off of this location as well. No gold, or there is a gold mine over here for Skady, and Skady now going to be going to the Mythic Age himself here, knowing Hera as the god of choice. That's an interesting one. I would have thought that most of the time you want to go through Hephaestus here, with the reasoning being to win that late game. But Hera here is going to give him a little bit more breathing room after all is said and done. As he's but it does mean that the Ra's late game is going to be a little bit more strong here moving forward, because you don't have that extra 10 population in terms of economy propping you up. Also, you don't have the easy ability to get all your armory upgrades, and you can see that Skady here has only gotten the copper shields at the moment, and I'm sure Magic at some point here is going to start really massing up those armories and getting himself 3 armories and get all of those upgrades through very, very quickly. As he started his trade route, bit of a chemo trade route here. The walls over here attempting to come back up throughout the game as Skady wants to put a stop to all of that there. The chariot archers get cleaned up on the back here as Skady has looked like he's defended for the time being here. But Osiris is in. Son of Osiris is going to be coming through. Hera will be in to cause some problems here. And the question is, how much value is Magic's Son of Osiris going to get compared to the value which the Lightning Storm is going to get, as we do see the Chariot Archers are back in yet again. Hippocon are in position here to defend on these positions. And I mean, personally, I don't like Chariot Archer raids that much. I do them a little bit, but every time I do them, I feel like I regret it because the Hippocon can just chase them down. Now, in this position, Ra's chariots are 5.5 speed, and there's no access to that spirited charge that comes with Hermes, so the Hippocon are only moving at 5.5 speed themselves, but nonetheless, they still catch him out of position and cause some problems. But what Magic is doing with this, which I really, really like, is he is starting to push forward onto this town center here, as we see the fortified town centers coming through, and we see Bellerophon on the way as well here, as that Son of Osiris is really cleaning up those Peltas incredibly fast here, which is why I don't particularly like seeing that one, as we do see the Lightning Storm getting dropped down. How much damage on this position is he going to get? Lightning never hits the same place twice, as the Son of Osiris here is going to sit there only taking, or get to sit twice there, actually 3 times there. That's not 4 times there. That's actually a decent amount of damage onto that Son of Osiris there, as Magic's pulling that one back. We do see a Pegasus on this position here. Remember, Skady does have access to Apollo in this game, so he can use that at any point. Heavy Archers is coming through for Skady as well, and we do see the Underworld coming through onto this position, pushing Magic off of this gold mine. Magic's already got a trade route set up. It's not a great trade route, but it is set up nonetheless, as the villager coming over here to start shanking down on that position there, as the Medusa holds here nicely after that Lightning Storm, and the Son of Osiris gets caught out here, and it will be getting taken out. How much HP? It lives with 5 HP, but that's like 1 or 2 arrows. There's no way to really keep it alive for a very long time here. You're going to try and get some good value, but now Magic is completely pushed off of gold. He does have himself, obviously, the trade route, which will be helping Bellerophon out onto the map here as well. Going to be able to take down those catapults. Personally, I don't think you ever really want to be building catapults against Zeus because of that Bellerophon. He comes in, 100 hack damage, 2 hits, basically 1 hits the catapult. You jump in and then you do an auto attack. So it's a 2 hit on the catapult, but it's killed in a space of 1 second. So it's a unit you kind of want to avoid building unless you've got a ton of towers up already with crenellations to insta-kill the Bellerophon for jumping in to try and take out a catapult, because then you can trade 400 resources for 400 resources. So Magic is going to have to start thinking about what comes next here. Remember, Magic's late game is incredibly strong, so we'll see if he's going to be able to come up with something here. The problem is that it doesn't matter how strong your late game is if you don't have a trade route set up in the corner, because it's going to be very, very weak here. It's only getting himself 32 gold a trip, and he doesn't have it being empowered there. So it's a flat 32 gold rather than, what would it go up to, like, I can't do that math fast enough, like 40-ish gold on that one, if he empowers it with his Pharaoh. As the Peltast coming through, going to start sniping down those Chariot Archers nicely there. You can see that the problem with Peltast is mostly just that they miss on their initial attack at about a rate of 50%, which is standard for every single archer in the game. But the problem is that every archer in the game, with the exception of Peltast and Terma, attack at 1 second, 1 animation a second, which means that that's why the Peltast is such a crummy unit. And I'm still surprised that the balance patch hasn't fixed this one. I would love to see that coming in. I'd love the Peltast to be a useful unit. But we do see a fortress coming up here for Skady on this position here. Going to be able to start pushing it over here, potentially taking out these town centers. We see some watchtowers coming up for Magic as he wants to defend on that. And, oh, I love this attack here from Magic. This is what makes him so good. The Son of Osiris is really out of position here. Right-clicking onto this Son of Osiris would literally kill this one. Has Skady noticed it or not here as the Bellerophon does come through? The Son of Osiris does get taken out. The catapult gets picked up on that position as the Bellerophon going to be chasing that one around. A couple of donkey caravans are getting taken out, but Magic's attack has been thwarted for the time being as Heliopoli are starting to get trained out here. Upgrades for Skady, non-existent. Magic is at nearly full iron here, so this is the advantage which Magic's got, which Skady has to deal with as the Bellerophon are almost going to go down here. Will Skady bring this one back from the dead? Doesn't stay alive there. He's got access to Temple of Healing. The most important thing when you're going through Apollo and to help you prop yourself up with economy is to not need to spend that 400 gold on Bellerophon. Get the value by healing him back up with Temple of Healing is a really nice way to play. But Magic continuing to hit these raids, it's what he does really, really good throughout the game. And Skady at this point is not fully walled off. Might want to consider doing that as the Heliopolis getting shanked down here by those villagers. Very, very nice play there from Magic. And we start seeing the defense on that position over there as we've got Skady pushing through onto this position. If Skady wants, he's got a fairly safe gold mine up here that he can push his villagers through the underworld passage to go to, as Skady still pushing forward onto this position as we see the villagers coming in to start shanking down over here. A handful of units are through here, but will Skady recognize this or not? There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a couple of villagers going to come through and attempt to shank down the chariots, but these are champion chariots with some decent upgrades. I don't think it's going to be that easy there, as the fortress on the front there does end up getting taken down. Migdol Stronghold going to go down as well, as the fortress on this position does end up getting picked off. Medusa is helping out a lot on this position here, but Skady still needs to get his armory upgrades through. Taking a look at this, he's still floating only at copper shields, which is a big problem as the villagers are going to start pushing in onto the underworld passage here. Skady is still sitting at a full 160 population. Magic is the one kind of struggling for population here at the moment, and the Skady Peltas can come through here and try and take out these villagers here. Repairing up the underworld passage is a very quick repair rate on that one, so you can easily defend it against those sorts of attacks there. But we'll see what's going to happen here is a big wall is coming up here for Magic to try and defend his own trade route here as well. A bit of a funny one there. And Magic still hasn't even attempted to try and grab this side position back. And this is all caused basically by Skady's early walls, which maybe Magic could have walled up himself early in the game if he just decided to do that. And he probably wouldn't have been in this position. But we'll see how things are going to go. Like, what I mean by that is fast heroic and just use one villager to build walls during that fast heroic is an option in your corner there, because you can get them up much faster than your opponent can going for 2 town centers. Kind of. I don't know. Maybe not. But we do see some mercenaries starting to come out here. Now, Magic does have Hathor, and this game might be gearing up to be a very long game, ladies and gentlemen, because Magic's trade route, while not very good, does have the Pharaoh empowering it, is getting that 32 gold plus 25% there. So he's not going to be dying in this game without losing any sort of a town center. That being said, the longer the game goes, the more power Skady's units are going to get. So he should be able to get some more upgrades here as the siege works on the front getting taken down. Magic is going to try and slow push in on this area, and we see yet again a little bit of a raid coming through for Magic. Is going to continue these sorts of rock raids. This is one thing that Ra can do, which obviously no other civilization can do. ISIS can do it as well, but oftentimes ISIS is forced to go through Nephthys just to stay alive in a game. But this is something that Ra is really good at. As the town center does stay alive, and we see the chariot archers going for a raid. Yet again, there is never going to be a stoppage to the raids. This is something we saw quite a bit from actually Yoshi. No. Who was it? Shelty. No, not Shelty. Shelty versus Count Von Count. Shelty versus Count Von Count did this back in the day. Not back in the day. Back in Champions League. Champions League? I want to say it was Champions League. It might have been Pandora's Box. But he did this, and he kept on sending these raids through until basically Shelty fell flat in the game. It's a really, really good way to play as the Chariot Archers now getting pulled back here. And we do see more Chariot Archers coming in onto this position, looking for some villagers to kill off. Skady just needs to get the walls set up across this position to prevent those raids from coming through as the Chariot Archers get spread around. And they distract population for quite a while to allow those mercenaries to set up and allow everything to come through. Mythic has now got himself full, or not full iron, but he's got himself iron weapons. Skady here is still not even full bronze here. So his units are just not trading efficiently here in the slightest. And those mercenary cavalry are incredibly strong here, ladies and gentlemen, as the Heliopolis trying to get pushed out on this position as well. And a market up in this corner here for Skady can go for a different sort of a trade route if he wants to. But another option here for Skady would be to set up on this position here. It's not spotted by Magic there. He could come in, he could wall up here, he could get a fortress set up behind here, he could put some towers down, and then he could start Metropolis sieging that town center there as 4 Chariot Archers a little bit distracted now onto the house over there as the Heliopolis pulling back. And we'll see how things are going to go. The problem here mostly for Skady is he just does not have a trade route out. He does not have a trade route out in the slightest. And Magic is starting to assert his authority in this game, pushing forward with these villagers here, going to attempt to get a Migdol stronghold up in this position. And Skady here, he's got no economy now in the bank. Where is his economy going? What are his economic upgrades looking like? They are non-existent. And Skady just gets withered down in this game by raids. Literally just by raids here. Magic was able to find himself a solid advantage here. You can look at the map. Skady's got full control of the map, but he just could not keep himself afloat here after all of those raids were coming through. I mean, this kind of gameplay here from Magic almost makes it seem like it's a better choice for the Zeus player to go through Hermes here, just so you have access to the Sacred Charge upgrade for your Hippocon, so you can actually put a stop to these Chariot Archer raids. But nonetheless, this is Magic. This is Magic at his maybe not at his peak, but Magic showing what made him so good in these sorts of games. I'm really surprised he was able to make a comeback, so to speak, but do enough damage with that one town center play here, showing that, you know, maybe that fast second town center gameplay is not the be all and end all. I wonder what would have happened here if maybe Skady had restoration defended the Locust on this position instead of losing what seemed to be like 10 villages. Instead of losing that many, restoration, keep those villagers alive rather than using on the front here. Maybe the game might have gone a different direction. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.